is a TV One original program, only available on your 5 TV service.
Today's actually a really crazy one because I have a lot of orders to get done, but before that gets done, we have to pay attention to doing the full moon post for this week. And then I have some orders to pack up and get out. And I'm very excited because we have our board meeting coming up, which we're really excited to talk about the Indigenous Women's Arts Conference that we're really hoping this year that we can do in March. That sounds like fun. Let's do that.
Okay, awesome. All right, is there anything else you need help, like anything or?
So can we do Friday for that meeting about the conference?
Okay.
Okay, so how about Friday at like 10?
Awesome.
Okay.
Are you going to send the information to us, or do you want me to send it?
No, I'll grab the Zoom link and I'll send it to everybody, and we'll get all the girls on board for the meeting, so we're all kind of on the same page.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yay. I'll talk to you later, Dawn.
Okay, bud. Talk to you soon. Bye. Bird medicines are the whole, for me, it's all of my spirituality. When I met and began to understand the birds is when everything started really coming together for me as far as my identity, my spirituality, that should have naturally been mine. But in my case, and in many cases of Indigenous women, we didn't have that opportunity to be raised in our culture, or to understand or to learn these things from our grandmothers. So, and then when I started to understand why, and the things that I was meant to do by carrying these feathers, that really really lighted a path for me. And it was a path to coming home, that I could work with these amazing spirits from these birds and be able to share that with other women. The medicine from the birds, like their feathers still carry that spirit. And so even though the life of that bird has ended, we can take these feathers and hold on to this spirit. Because birds fly, they're just so much closer to Sky World than we are, which makes them on a whole different level of spirituality. So by being able to touch something that has been that high, is a way that we can stay connected with the people that we're mourning, or the people that we miss, our grandmothers, our ancestors. Through Pass the Feather, I've given away thousands of feathers to people in need, eagle feathers to the residential school survivors, or survivors of other Indian child apprehension programs. I've given a lot of eagle feathers to Indigenous women who've lost children to suicide. I think it's important work, and I don't think anyone else is doing it. And I found myself in the position to have these feathers in my hand, and I never keep them long, because I always feel like someone needs them more than I do. I never keep like whole wings or tails, because it's always my thought that, one wing like this, may have 20 feathers, and I could give 20 feathers to one person, or I could take it apart and give one feather to 20 people. And I think the latter is probably the best way to share these with people. I met Derek, I don't know, I would have been about 24, so 25 years ago. He was my veterinarian, and we were both married at the time. And then I decided I was going to pack up everything and move to Costa Rica. I had some health issues, and I just felt like that would be a really interesting and new start for me. And I was really intrigued by the indigenous cultures, the Broken Indians and the Mayan, of course. And so I moved to Costa Rica and created a little bit of a life there, and eventually made sure that I invited Derek down. And then one day I just came home with him. So that was I moved right in with him, and we're still together today.
I think a big thing that I do for her, and she does for me as well, is we just listen to each other for the most part, and just when she's got problems, she knows she can say the problems, and hopefully we can come up with an answer together. And me, I do all the other stuff that takes the stuff off of her plate. I do the house, a lot of the housework, the cooking, and all that kind of stuff, because I enjoy it, so why not? But yeah, it's mostly, I think for her, you know, the work she does is really stressful at times. And so for her to be able to just bounce ideas off of me or complain to me about what's getting her down, then I think that's the best thing I can do for her for the most part. I thought I saw a frog jump in there, but
A lot of what connect Derek and I are our outlook on things in particular. It's a very calm way to live. He balances me. He sees my obsessive compulsive kind of tendencies and my tendency to overwork myself, and to he really balances me and makes sure I don't expect too much of other people. He reminds me that everybody has something to contribute, and we need to maybe just look closer at what everybody is good at, because when we put those things together, that's what creates a healthy community. And Derek has taught me something every day as long as I've known him, and Derek and I are very much the same person, and we just fit together perfectly.
Dawn, she's inspiring in that she never gives up. I've never met a person who just won't quit. You know, no matter how hard things are going, she just keeps like a dog with a bone. You know, she just doesn't give it up. She just pushes ahead and gets things done surprisingly. When I think there's no way she's going to keep going with this, and she does, and that to me is very inspiring.
Dawn, thank you so much for having me today.
I'm glad you came.
Oh, how are you doing?
Good, excellent. It's nice to sit outside and get some air.
Yeah, that it is. No, it's beautiful, your home. It really is. And I know we've had a few different chats today, but I'm wondering if you'd be happy to share a little bit about what entrepreneurship means to you.
A lot of people have mistaken what I do with the IACC for entrepreneurship. But really, I think mostly what I'm trying to do is embrace what makes people happy, right? So if creating what you're creating makes you happy, then continue to do that. And if you can create a living from being happy, then you have done exactly what your intention is, right? Like, entrepreneurship is doing what you love and being happy doing it.
I'm wondering just what your journey was to leading IOCC.
As an Indigenous woman who never took direction well, when I started to really look at people, other Indigenous women, I could see a trend that I believe comes from a long, long time ago, that we're not really always good at being employees. We're not good at taking direction. We're not good at taking orders. And that may come from a history of people of authority giving us orders that aren't necessarily good for us. And I think over time that maybe has created a sense of resentment. When we are in these circles of women, I feel a sense of companionship, almost like a trust and a safety. And when we do our arts conferences, I really felt that sense of safety with these women in the room together, and they made fast friends, and they learned, and they taught. So yeah, I mean, that's why the IACC was born. It was seeing Indigenous artists not valuing their time and their work. So they are putting so many hours into their work, but not selling them to even cover their costs. And this is a problem. And I saw the challenges that they face where non-Indigenous Canadians have a capacity to apply for grants and to go online and go to the portals and fill out grant applications. We don't all have access to computers. You can't do it on a cell phone. So there were so many barriers that I saw that needed to come down. And I just thought one by one, maybe I could approach them and see how I could try and help.
You have these incredibly important events where you're bringing Indigenous women together, and I know at the same time you've held this large event for the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation on September 30th, and so I wonder, what was it like hosting such a large and public event? I mean, what was the lead up of that for you? Why was it important?
You know, with the public realizing, the non-Indigenous public realizing that so many children were killed, I think this news floored a lot of Canadians. And this being the first time Canada has recognized September 30th as a national, a holiday for federal employees, it just had to be done. Something had to be done in a big way.
Today we gather to honor all those children who did not make it home,
who were dragged into a world that taught them loneliness, inequality, and fear. And those children are our grandmothers. And in our veins, the water still carries their loneliness, their inequality, and their fear that they were taught. It follows us. That's what intergenerational trauma is. It's in our water, we're women. And so we own that water. We process it. And every day our eyes let go of the drops that make us unwell. That is surviving.
I'm so excited that we're all together finally. We've all seemed to be always on Zoom all the time.
You know, when I think about that day and when I think about what stands out from everything that we've done, I remember the Indigenous Women's Conference that we did. You and I stood on that stage when other people were drumming, and we kind of stood off to the side. And then over a year later, on Parliament Hill, in front of thousands of people, you unexpectedly stood up and spoke to all of them.
That's what the IICC is all about, bringing those ceremonies and art forms and reclaiming our power.
Indigenous women are already doing the work. They're already doing all of the work. I don't have hope for them. I have hope for me to continue to have the strength to stay here on the land and do my best to either be an advocate or a connector, to to put what they need into the public. I'm just here to support. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not a leader. You're not going to see me out on the front line, but I'm in the background, and I hope that they continue doing the work that they're doing, and that I can use the tools that I have and continue to support them in doing the good work, because it's the young women that we have to right now protect with our lives. We have to hold on tight to them, but we also have to push them forward to make sure that they continue learning and doing the work of their grandmothers. So if I can perhaps help make that happen, I will do my best from here.